Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sports Coaster. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Sports Coaster. We've got a ton to get into. We had the Cavs versus Warriors matchup last night, an extremely heated finish in the Clippers-Rockets game. Joel Embiid had a big game, LeBron and KD, we all know that rivalry. But without any further ado, it is currently Tuesday, January 16th, 2018. Let's roll that intro. The Charlotte Hornets had 3 players reach 20 or more points in yesterday's 118-107 win over the Detroit Pistons. Marvin Williams put up 21 points, Dwight Howard had 21 points, and Kemba Walker had 20 points in yesterday's win. Dwight Howard had 17 rebounds on top of those points. He had 4 blocks and shot 75% from the field, while Marvin Williams shot 5 of 6 from downtown, going 83% from there, 87% on the game from the field. He also had 5 rebounds. The Detroit Pistons were led by Tobias Harris, who's 20 points, Reggie Bullock's 20 points. Andre Drummond really struggled. Only had 1 field goal. He was 1 of 7, shooting 14%. He had 5 assists though and 3 steals and 10 rebounds in this loss. The Philadelphia 76ers never trailed in yesterday's 117-111 win over the Toronto Raptors. The Sixers led by as many as 21 points in this game, and they were led by Joel Embiid's 34 points and 11 rebounds. JJ Redick put up 15 points, Ben Simmons, the rookie, had 12 points, and Robert Covington and Dario Saric both had 11 points. TJ McConnell had a great game off the bench, shot 61%, grabbed 6 rebounds, had 3 steals, had 8 assists, and of course 18 points. Toronto Raptors were led by DeMar DeRozan, who struggled from 3-point line, going 0-4. He put up 24 points. And off the bench, Dylan Wright went 5 of 6 from downtown for 83% and put up 20 points in the Raptors' loss. Giannis Antetokounmpo recorded his first ever 2020 game in yesterday's 104-95 win over the Washington Wizards. Giannis grabbed 20 rebounds and had 27 points. He only shot 39% from the field, going 9 of 23 and only 60% from the free throw line. But nevertheless, still very impressive stat line for Giannis Antetokounmpo. On the defensive side as well, he had 4 blocks, 2 steals, and he had 8 assists. Eric Bledsoe shot 3 of 5 from downtown, put up 23 points. On the Washington side of the basketball, they were led by John Wall, 27 points, going 7 of 22 from the field. Bradley Beal had 19, as did Kelly Oubre Jr. I really have no idea how this happened, but it did happen. The Atlanta Hawks won 102-99 against the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs are now pushed out of the top 3 in the Western Conference. They have fallen to 4th in that conference. Minnesota has now passed them. Yeah, I did not see this happen at all. They, of course, were not playing with Kawhi Leonard, which, it's always going to be a big difference in the game. Dennis Schroeder for the Atlanta Hawks played amazing. He put up 26 points, had 7 assists. Dwayne Dedmon, the former Spur, had 12 points and 10 rebounds, where Ernest Ilyasova had 20 points. The Spurs were led, as usual, by LaMarcus Aldridge's 25 points. Danny Green had 11, DeJounte Murray had 8, and off the bench, David Bertans got 2 threes, and Patty Mills put up 13 points. Kristaps Porzingis put up 26 points and grabbed 9 rebounds, and Michael Beasley put up 23 points and grabbed 10 rebounds in New York Knicks' 119-104 win over fellow New York team, the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn was led by DeMar Carroll's 22 points, Quincy Acey put up 13, and Caris LeVert had 20 points in this loss to the Knicks. The New York Knicks really started to dominate after the second half, really after the first quarter. They did not trail after the first quarter, led by as many as 21 points. They had really a very good all-round effort from the team. Doug McDermott got 2 3-pointers and 13 points in the Knicks win. An absolutely dominating second half by the Chicago Bulls set up their 119-111 win over the Miami Heat, ending Miami's 7-game win streak. Chicago, now up to 17-27 on the season, was led by Justin Holiday's 25 points, Lauri Markkanen, the rookie's 3 3-pointers. He had grabbed 9 rebounds, put up 17 points. Zach LaVine, in his first few games back, he's looked really, really good, put up 18 points in this one. And Nikola Mirotic off the bench, who, by the way, Bulls are looking to trade, put up 18 points. Miami, well, they were led as normal by Goran Dragic. He had 22 points, grabbed 5 rebounds, and had 9 assists. Wayne Ellington off the bench and Kelly Olynyk off the bench both had really solid performances. Ellington put up 20 and Kelly Olynyk 21. Josh Richardson put up 11 points. Now this is a really weird question because, as we all know, the Chicago Bulls started the season off really badly, but then ever since Nikola Mirotic came back, they've started to pick it up. But I think people are overhyping them just a little bit. They still are 17-27. I mean, there's still a long time left in the season, and my question to you guys is, do you guys think the Chicago Bulls can make the playoffs this year? I mean, this is almost kind of a Miami Heat type of situation that we saw last year, where they really did not have a very good first half of the season, and then all of a sudden Dragic stepped up his play and really the Miami Heat almost win the playoffs, and just to the last day they were in it, and just at the last second they did get bumped out of the 9th seed. This is almost the same kind of situation. I'm not sure if the Bulls will make it the playoffs this year, but they do have a really promising young talented team that is not really getting a lot of credit. I mean, Denzel Valentine, the rookie, Chris Dunn, he's young, Zach LaVine as well, and of course Lauri Markkanen, probably gonna be their main man in a few years. I don't know. You guys let me know. Will the Chicago Bulls make the playoffs this season? On paper, it might not really look like the Grizzlies dominated the Lakers in their 123-114 win, but when you look at kind of the score by the quarter, Lakers got the first bucket, and then it was all Memphis, as the Grizzlies did not trail after the first few minutes. They led by as many as 20 points. They were led by Marc Gasol, 17 points, Dillon Brooks, 19 points, Tyreke Evans, 15, and off the bench, Wayne Selden, a very talented rookie who we saw a lot of him in Summer League, but not a ton in the regular season. He had 13 points. I'm happy for the kid. Lakers, well, they were led by Josh Hart, 16 points. Lonzo Ball was not playing in this game, and well, this is just further proves how valuable Lonzo is to his team. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had a game high 27 points, at 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 assists, and off the bench Kyle Kuzma had 18 points. Larry Nance Jr. had 15 in the Lakers' loss. The Sacramento Kings lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder last night, 95-88. Well, the Kings, they did have the lead for the majority of the first half. They were up by 15 at one point, but in the fourth quarter, the Thunder really started to turn it on. They got a 16-point lead and never looked back since then. OKC was led by Russell Westbrook, who I think he's the best stat chaser we've ever seen in the NBA. Now, I'm not slamming Russ at all, but he just fills up the stat sheet every single night. He played 32 minutes, put up 19 points, grabbed 16 rebounds, and had 9 assists. Just amazing stat line there for Russell Westbrook. But of course, Paul George and Carmelo Anthony did have big games. PG-13 had 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals, and a block. I think he's a front runner for me for a defensive player of the year, probably because I don't want KD to win, but I mean, Paul George, he's a really good defender. Carmelo Anthony put up 20 points. On the Kings side of the basketball, Willie Cauley-Stein had 15 points, Bogdanovich put up 13, and the rookie De'Aaron Fox put up 12. Off the bench, Buddy Hield put up 16 points in the Thunder win. LeBron James absolutely filled up the stat sheet in last night's 118-108 loss to the Golden State Warriors. LeBron played 36 minutes and managed to grab 8 rebounds, have 6 assists, 32 points, 3 steals, 4 blocks. I mean, the man played amazing. He had a great block on Kevin Durant. Isaiah Thomas, the little man, put up 19 points. Great game for him. Kevin Love had 17 points. And off the bench, Dwayne Wade had 10 points. Golden State Warriors was led by Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. Curry had had 8 assists and 23 points. KD had 32 points and 8 assists and also 3 steals. Klay Thompson started red hot. He had 15 points in the first quarter, ended the game with 17 points and 4 rebounds in the Warriors 118-108 win against Cleveland. Victor Oladipo's 28 points and 6 assists led the Indiana Pacers to a 109-94 win over the Utah Jazz. I've already kind of mentioned Victor Oladipo. Corey Joseph as well in the Pacers had 15 points. Sabonis had 15. Thaddeus Young had 17. And Bojan Bogdanovic had 10 points. Really well rounded there for Indiana in this win. The Utah Jazz had great performances from, of course, Donovan Mitchell, who had 23 points. Derek Favors had 16 points. And Rodney Hood up the bench put up 15 points, shot 42% from the field. Ricky Rubio really struggled, only managed to hit 1 field goal, was 1 of 7 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3-point land. Rough game for him in the Jazz loss. I'm pretty sure we are all familiar with the quote, "It's not how you start, it's how you finish." Well, that really was kind of the way things went in last night's Clippers versus Rockets game. The Houston Rockets started off red hot. They led for pretty much the entirety of the first half, led by as many as 20 points, but they didn't even see a glimpse of the lead in the second half as the Clippers went out there, dominated the entire half, led by as many as 15 points in the 113-102 win over Houston. They had a really heated finish with Blake Griffin and Mike D'Antoni going at it. Trevor Ariza was throwing elbows. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin were swearing at each other. It was really a classic. Lou Will had 31 points for the Clippers. To be honest, I don't know why people are considering him to be a 6th man of the year candidate this year, because he's starting and did do some really well. Blake Griffin had 29 points and 10 rebounds, also had 6 assists. Not bad stats for him. James Harden, as we all know, was not playing. In last night's loss, Chris Paul had 19 points. Eric Gordon had 19 points off 3 3-pointers. Ryan Anderson had 12, Trevor Ariza 17, and Clint Capella 14. Off the bench, we had Gerald Green going 1 of 8 from 3-point land. Kind of really struggling from down there. Did have 11 points on the game in the Houston Rockets loss. And so this brings us to our Player of the Night award. There wasn't really an obvious choice for this award, but at the end of the day, I did look at the numbers and how good players played and how good their teams played around them, and I did decide to give this award to LeBron James. We've already mentioned how he filled up the stat sheet. I did list all of his stats. What I failed to mention is he shot 12 of 18 from the field. I mean, 66% from there is crazy. I will say, though, he was minus 14. This is the Cavs' 4th straight loss, and he was 61% from the free throw line. But, other than that, LeBron James was absolutely unstoppable, just dominating the Warriors from start to finish. He had some great dunks, alley-oop dunks, and a really nice block on Kevin Durant. So, ladies and gentlemen, your Player of the Night, LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of the show today. I thank you all for tuning into today's episode of Sports Coaster. I hope you guys all did enjoy. Don't forget to leave this video a like, hit that red subscribe button, go into the description box, hit the Instagram link there, and then go on Instagram and click the blue follow button to follow us over there to get all the latest news from the NBA and the NFL and the World Cup in June when that hit. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you all tomorrow.